Hare Krishna. So, so today we are going to start with the Srimad Bhagavatam reading on Ajamila section. So I think last 2 weekends we could not have reading, and we read it I think 2 weeks back. So that means almost we can say 1 month is over for that. So today we are going to again restart. So we have Jaideep Prabhu, Amarnath Prabhu is there, Naman Prabhu is there, Umang Prabhu, Sai Teja Prabhu, and Raunak Prabhu is there. Okay, so thank you all for joining and welcome for today's Srimad Bhagavatam reading session. So just to summarize what all things we have covered till now. So we already started with the Sajamala section and the question answers were going on between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami. And later on, Shukdev Goswami tells the history of Ajamila and how he was Brahman. He fell down from his position because of association of a prostitute. And then finally, he went into so many bad habits, sinful activities, gambling, stealing, all the sinful tendencies came. And then finally, when the death came, death was approaching him. He was on the deathbed, lying down. And that time, uh, in fear of death, he started calling out for his son, Narayan, Narayan. He started very loudly calling out his name. And while calling out his son's name, actually he was taking Narayan to call his son, but actually took the name of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is so merciful that he took in a way that Ajamila is calling me, and the Vishnudutas came to that place. And Yamdutas came because they thought, oh, this Ajamila has done so many sinful activities. We know the in and out of this Ajamila. From starting to end, his life is full with sinful activities only. So we are going to take, he is the perfect candidate for hellish planet, and we are going to take him to the abode of Yamraj. And Vishnu Dada said, we will take him to the abode of this Lord Vishnu, Vaikuntha Loka. So now both the parties have come, and here is a confusion which has got created. So let us see the. So today Vishnu Dutas are going to speak. So let us see what they tell in this particular thing. I think text number Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 6, Canto 6, chapter 1, text 37. So please recite this verse after me. Shri Shuka Vacha
श्रीशुक उवाच
iti ukte yamadutaiste
इति युक्ते यमदूतैस्ते
vasudevokta karina
वासुदेवोक्तकारिणः
pratyuchu prahasyedam
तं
तान् प्रत्युचु
प्रत्युच्च
प्रहसेदम्
प्रहस्येदं
mega nirvradaya gira.
मेघनिर्हरादया गिरा
Okay. Jaydeep Proof translation. Can you read?
Yes, Prabhu. Sukdev Goswami continued, being thus addressed by the messengers of Yamraja, the servants of Vasudev smiled and spoke the following words in voices as deep as the sound of rumbling clouds.
Yeah. So being thus addressed by messengers of Yamraj. So what was the message of Yamraj? Messengers of Yamraj, they actually did, they spoke in the previous few verses. They said that, oh, uh, who are you? Vishnudutas, you are looking very nicely, you are dressed so nicely, yellow silken garments and all. But how can you have the audacity to stop us from following the orders of our master, Yamraj? So they were like very much surprised to see Vishnudutas obstructing them. So let us see what purport Prabhupada says. Yes, Amarnath, purport.
Yes, Prosi. Hare Krishna. The Yamadutas were surprised to see that the Vishnudutas, although polite, were hindering the rule of Yamraj. Similarly, the Vishnudutas were also surprised that the Yamadutas, although claiming to be servant of Yamraj, the supreme judge of religious principles, were unaware of the principle of religious action. Thus, the Vishnudutas smiled, thinking, what is this nonsense they are speaking? If they are actually servants of Yamraj, they should know that Ajamal is not a suitable candidate for them to carry off. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so he's a little. You can just imagine this kind of scene where Yamdutas, Vishnudutas both have come, and both are surprised to see each other. Yamdutas is saying, "Oh, how come you have come? This is a sinful. This person is sinful. We are supposed to take him. Why you have come?" And Vishnudutas are surprised to see Yamdutas. They say, "Oh, he has chanted the name of Narayan. He has now nullified all his sinful activities. Why you come here?" So both are surprised to see each other. So at this time, I remember one incident which actually happened, the same kind of incident which happened in our preaching also. There was one college where two temples were preaching. So generally, ISKCON has a rule, and if some ISKCON temple is there in particular area, suppose in a city, so that city only that temple can preach. No other temple can come and preach because every temple is having their particular area where they are supposed to preach. And in case the local temple is not preaching, then other temple can come and preach, but they have to take permission from the local temple. So one place, it so happened that there was a one temple which had a very good college like IIT and all. That kind of college was there, and the local temple was not doing any preaching. So the devotees from other temple they wanted to preach in this college. They thought, oh, such nice colleges there, but this local temple they are not much preaching. So let us now we want to preach, we want to spread Prabhupada mission, we will do preaching. And then they started coming to this college, started preaching, conducting programs. So like that, almost 2 3 years they did nice preaching, got many devotees also, and so everything was going nicely by that time until and unless the local temple started preaching in the same college. So now the local temple got some devotees for preaching in college. So then they thought, okay, let us try this college. Very nice. So many years we could not do. Now this year we want to start. So they also started entering the college, meeting the boys in the hostel and all. So then there were few boys who were connected to both the preachers from the other temple also and this local temple also. And the boys were innocent. They didn't know what is the rules in ISKCON and all. So they started attending both the meeting both the devotees and taking guidance from them. And suddenly what happened is one day the boy said that I am arranging a program in our hostel. My many friends are interested. So he called the other temple who was coming from many years. So they said, okay, we will come. And the local temple, when they just visited the hostel, so he told them also about the program, and they also came. So when the program happened, the day of the program, both the preachers from both the temples they had gathered, and both were surprised to see each other. Same situation almost. They said, "Oh, how come you are here? You are from other place. Why you are coming in our temple and preaching, our college and preaching?" He said, "No, no. This is we are preaching from many years because the devotees who are coming to preach they didn't know the actual scenario. They were told by their senior preacher that you go and preach. So they didn't. They also were not aware about the policies of ISKCON. So they said we are right. We are preaching here from so many years. And these police people said, no, how can you preach without taking permission? That is not possible. And they had a tug of war there. In all the boys were just watching. They were not understanding what is going on. So basically, this thing happens a lot. Many places where things are not clear or policies, people don't know what policies are, and they get into such kind of complications. So similarly, we see that here also same kind of thing has happened in case of Yamdutas and Vishnudutas. And Vishnudutas understood we are right, we know all religious principles, and we are at the right thing. And Yamdutas, for them, this was a new situation because before this they never encountered any Vaishnava. Because Yamdutas means they will always go to some sinful person, take him to hell. That is only the things were going on till this point. But first time they encountered a person who was sinful, and also he at the just about when he is about to die is performing devotional service. So this was a new case for them. So they could not take the decision or they could not understand this particular scenario. So let us see what happens next in the next verse. Okay, text 38. Shri Vishnuduta Uchuhu
Shri
Shri
Vishnuduta
Vishnuduta
Uchuhu
Uchuhu
Yuhyam Vai Dharmarajasya
Yuvam Vai
Yuvam
Dharma
Vai
Rajasya
Dharmarajasya
Dharmarajasya
Yadi Nirdeshakarina
Yadi
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 Nedresha
Nirdeshakarina
Karina
Nirdesakarina
ऋतधर्मस्य नस्तत्वम्
Rudadharmasya
Rudadharmasya
nastatvam
यच्चाधर्मस्य लक्षणम्.
yacha dharmasya
Yachadharmasya
lakshanam.
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 Yes, Ronald, through translation.
The blessed messengers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnudutas, said, if you are actually servants of Yamraj, you must explain to us the meaning of religious principles and the symptoms of irreligion.
Yeah, if you are actually servants of Yamraj, you must explain to us the meaning of religious principles. So now Vishnudutas are very intelligent. They immediately questioned, Yamraj. So sometimes in our, of course, I will come to that point later. So let us see purport. What what is said in the purport? Yes, Naman.
This inquiry by Vishnudutas to Yamdutas is most important. A servant must know the instructions of his master.
Sound is not coming. Very low sound is.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Just a minute. Hare Krishna.
Now it is good.
Okay. Uh, and this inquiry by the Vishnudutas to the Yamdutas is most important. A servant must know the instructions of his master. The servants of Yamraj claim to be carrying out his orders, and therefore the Vishnudutas very intelligently ask them to explain the symptoms of religious and irreligious principles. A Vaishnava knows these principles perfectly well because he is well acquainted with the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord says, Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Give up all other varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. Therefore, surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the actual principle of religion. Those who have surrendered to the principles of material nature instead of to Krishna are all impious, regardless of their material position. Unaware of the principles of religion, they do not surrender to Krishna, and therefore they are considered sinful rascals, the lowest of men, the fools bereft of all knowledge, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. So here this particular statement is very important. A servant must know the instructions of his master. So Vishnudutas immediately targeted them. Okay, you claim that you are servants of Yamraj. So you should know the instruction of your master. So please tell us. So now here it was like an embarrassing situation for Yamdutas. Of course, they thought that they know, but actually they didn't knew the instruction of his master. Yamraj is also. Who is Yamraj? Who is Yamraj? Is he just some
God of
personality from hellish planet?
He's
Mahajan.
king of Harish planet. Sir,
Apart from king, who is he? What is
he's
his
He
name?
is
Mahajan.
devotee of
Mahajan.
Lord.
Justice.
Yeah, Mahajan.
Mahajan.
Correct. He comes amongst 12 Mahajanas. Yes, Ronak Sinha is also telling. So 12 Mahajanas, he comes in that. So he is a very great personality. And here he's telling that you are telling because Yamraj is very great. So he knows all these intricacies. He knows if a person is chanting Hare Krishna, he is a devotee of the Lord, then he should not be touched. He cannot even enter hellish planet also. He is supposed to be, he just has to be go to the spiritual world. He cannot be taken. He cannot be punished. So he knew that. So somehow his followers, they were not aware of that. And that's why Prabhupada says, a servant must know the instruction of his master. Okay, next verse is Namam Dishkrito no Muda, Prapadyante Naradama, Mayaya Parata Jnana, Asuram Bhavam Ashritam. Yes, Umang Pro, translation.
Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. One who has not surrendered to Krishna does not know the true principle of religion. Otherwise, he would have surrendered. The question posed by the Vishnudutas were very suitable. One who represents someone else must fully know that person's mission. The devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement must therefore be fully aware of the mission of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise, they will be considered foolish. All devotees, especially preachers, must know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness so as not to be embarrassed and insulted when they preach.
Yeah, so here is the instruction of Srila Prabhupada for all of us. So basically, one who represents someone else must fully know that person's mission. So whom all of us are representing?
Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya Mission.
Yeah, we are representing Srila Prabhupada, we are representing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Supreme Lord Krishna. So we are devotees of the Lord. So as soon as somebody sees Tilak in our forehead, Kantimala, he will understand, oh, these are the devotees of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So if they ask something about Krishna consciousness, then we should be able to tell them. Otherwise, if one doesn't tell, then Prabhupada is saying that the devotees will be considered foolish. And this happened also. Why Prabhupada is so strong and telling that so as not to be embarrassed, especially the devotees, preachers, because it has happened. So those days when in the Prabhupada times, some of the disciples, they actually just some people just came to Krishna consciousness. They came to the temple in the foreign countries. They came to the temple. They got interested. They asked few questions, and the devotee said, "Oh, now you are devotee. You now take the books and go out. You distribute the books." And then they were sent out. They just first time they are seeing the books. They have not even read the books, and they are told you go out and distribute. So then, like there was few devotees. They just took the book. They went out. They started giving out the books, and then the people, they came across some people, some intellectual people, and they say, okay, what is this book? And they started arguing, and they say, okay, what is written in this and this? Well, then the person said, I don't know anything. I have not read the book myself. Then the person said, you have not read, how can you discuss? And that the devotee was very much embarrassed. And then when Prabhupada came to know this, Prabhupada was very strong. He said, oh, the first duty of the books are not written for distribution purpose. The books are written so that all of you read. All of you read and then you distribute. So then ultimately everyone is benefited. So then he said very strongly that first you read my books and then you distribute my books. So then the devotees became more careful after that. So whenever they were not telling the new people, the devotees started going out and distributing the books. That is very important. Otherwise, it will just make a fool out of us. Because as soon as we go out, people are going to ask us some question. And if we are not able to answer, at least if we are not able to answer, we can say that I'll check with my superior and I will tell you. Yes, certain things, it's not that we are going to know everything A to Z of philosophy. Some things we can tell, and some things there will be challenges. So then we can say, okay, this I am also little doubtful about this, but I can get back to you to take his number, note it down, and then consult one of the superior, and then you can answer that person. Call him and tell him. Then the person will say, yes, it's correct. He kept his promise. He said that he will answer, and he came back and he answered that question. So that is a wonderful thing. So, so especially we are representing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should. So Prabhupada said that read two lines and preach two lines, or hear two words, preach two words. So whatever we hear, whatever we read, we preach that. So that is a wonderful thing. And apart from that, whenever we come back from preaching, we again increase our reading, our philosophy, our knowledge, so that when next time we encounter some person, then again we should be able to answer them. So that is the best practice. So this is a very instructive in this four lines. Devotees in Krishna consciousness movement must therefore be fully aware of the mission of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise, they will be considered foolish. All devotees, especially preachers, must know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, so as not to be embarrassed and insulted when they preach. So preachers, all of us are preachers. Not that somebody is giving class, he's only preacher. All of you are also preacher, because when you go to your respective college or company or your profession, you see that you will meet, certainly will meet some people who are not devotees. So then when you meet them, they will ask you some questions, because they will come to know about your practice. They will ask you some questions and you have to answer them. So yeah, of course, all of you are already very well read in Prabhupada books, so I don't have to tell much. But we can always try to improve our knowledge so that such situation doesn't come. Okay, next verse, text 39. Katham svedriyate dandaha
Katham
कथं
sveditra
स्वीक्रियते दण्डः
Vasyasthanamipsitam.
किं वा स्थानमीप्सितं
Dandya kim karina sarve.
दाद्या किं कारिणः
Kim
सर्वे
Karina Sarve.
With katichin brunam.
Aho Svetkate Chindaram. Name of
Yes, Ronak bro. Ronak Sinha bro. Translation. Okay, he cannot read. Sai Teja bro, can you read?
Yes, Prabhu. One who has the power to punish others should not punish.
Translation you can read first.
Okay, translation. Okay, Prabhu. What is the process of punishing others? Who are the actual candidates for punishment? Are all karmis engaged in fruitive activities punishable, or only some of them?
Yeah. So translation is, what is the process of punishing others? So now Vishnudutas are, I told no, very intelligent. They are asking one question to just get out the truth from them and or to expose the reality to Yamdutas. First they ask what is the process of punishing. Then they say who are the actual candidates for punishment. Not that punishing process is there so you punish everyone. So who are actual candidates? And is it that all karmis engaged in fruitive activities are supposed to be punished or only some of them? So this is how they very nicely phrase their question. Yes, purport. Yes, Suraj, can you read purport?
Hare Krishna. One who has the power to punish others should not punish everyone. There are innumerable living entities, the majority of whom are in the spiritual world and are Nitya Mukta or everlastingly liberated. There is no question of judging these liberated living beings. Only a small fraction of the living entities, perhaps one fourth, are in the material world. And the major portion of the living entities in the material world, 80 lakh of the 84 lakh forms of life, are lower than human beings. They are not punishable, for under the laws of material nature, they are automatically evolving. Human beings who are advanced in consciousness are responsible for not all of them
Punishable.
are punishable. Those engaged in advanced pious activities are beyond punishment. Only those who engage in sinful activities are punishable. Therefore, the Vishnudutas particularly inquired about who is punishable and why Yamraja has been designated to discriminate between who is punishable and who is not. How is one to be judged? What is the basic principle of authority? These are the questions raised by Vishnudutas.
Yeah. So Vishnudutas are telling, Prabhupada is telling here that there are 84 lakh species of life and only a small fraction of the living entities are in the material world. And basically, out of 84 lakh species of life, how many human beings are there? Human species?
4 lakh.
4 lakh. Yeah. And remaining 80 lakhs are lower than human beings. So they are not punishable. So those who are not, only humans are punishable. So humans only get karma and they are punished according to their karmic activities. The people who are like not people, those lower than animal species, they are already getting punished. They are already under punishment only. They are not get into any karmic activities and all. So karma is applicable only for human beings. So these human beings, who which comes in this 4 lakh species, they only will get punished, and in that also not everyone, only the people who commit sinful activities and who never utter the holy name of Krishna and who never go to any temple and they are only into the bad sinful activities. They are supposed to be punished.
Proji,
Yes.
Proji, this 4 lakh means the type, the feature of human being, or in total we are counting
4 lakh human beings means it. What I read is so
black,
this.
brown, white,
Huh?
skinny, like that? Black, brown, white, skinny, shorter, longer.
No, not like that. It comes in the different modes. Like living entities are in different modes. So according to modes, the combination of modes, these are categorized into different human beings and all. Also, some of the demigods and demons also come in this category. So in that way, it comes to total 4 lakh species.
Like, Prue, can you give two, three example so that otherwise I was getting confused.
Which example?
Like first kind of human being, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, this is only that it is not categorization is not given in any scriptures. Basically, it is told about according to the modes the human beings are divided. There is no categorization, that in this particular state people, okay, this one category of human being, or such elaborate description is not given in any of the scriptures.
Okay, Praveen.
Okay, so okay, yeah, one real-time incident also I wanted to tell. Actually, there is one Srinathji Prabhu. He lives in Mumbai. Once he was having some disease or something, so he was admitted into hospital. He was lying in one bed, and that time, uh, there was a barricade beside him, and then there was one more bed was there. One patient was lying there. So that patient, it was I think around 10 o'clock in the night. So the doctors came, they checked him up. Whole day he was undergoing different operation and all. So at 10 o'clock, the doctor said, "You are almost okay. Within few days, we are going to give you discharge. So don't worry." And the doctors left like that. And Srinathji Prabhu could hear all that, what doctors were telling. And then he was trying to sleep, but he was not getting so much sleep because already he was feeling little headache and all. And he was into the hospital. He was just chanting some mantras, and he was just going on like that. And suddenly, in the midnight, around 12 or 1, he saw that some sound. So he just saw actually some people are going from the three people were there, he said. They were going from the other side. He could not see them exactly, but he could see their shadow, which was falling on the glass. And they were not looking like doctors. From the shadow, he understood that these are very some different personalities only. And they went like this, and they entered the next room where the next patient was there. And suddenly he heard a very shouting, where somebody was shouting that, "Oh, say something," he said, he shouted very loudly. So basically, he could see that those personalities came and they are trying to snatch. And initially, it was little difficult, and finally, they snatched the soul and they went away. So then he understood these are Yamdutas because he was a devotee. He had already read this section of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he understood, oh, these are Yamdutas and they have taken this person to the hellish planet they are taking. So then this Srinathji Prabhu started shouting. He called all the doctors. And the doctor said, "What happened?" He said, "Oh, this patient has died." He said, "No, no, we have just taken him few hours back. He is going to get discharged in few days. He is now all right." Srinajapal said, "No, no, you check him. He's just shouted and he must have died." So they checked him and they understood he has actually died. So they were also wondering, but then Shinaji Prabhu became very alert. He understood, oh, this Vishnu is thus. I have read in Srimad Bhagavatam and now I could see them and the happenings also in front of me. Immediately he called some devotees from the temple and he wrote down everything, whatever incident happened. He said, I should not forget it. This is a very life, it's a learning lesson in my life. So I should note it down. And then that's how he proceed. He never forgot that. He told in this in one of the class also that this thing happened. So basically, this Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever incidences we read, was whatever things are going on. It's not just some story. Ajamila, okay, some story happened. No, Ajamila also happened. This is a real story which has happened. And so all these things, Vishnudutas, the Yamdutas are seen by many actually. There is like last time also I told, I think, one of the devotees' grandmother, she actually saw Yamdutas coming and uh, taking and all. So she used to tell, but this devotee was not in Krishna consciousness that time. Later he understood, oh, she was talking about Yamdutas. So this thing happens. We have to be very careful and we have to always chant whenever we travel. Whenever we travel, we chant Hare Krishna. Also, we do kirtan and we chant do Narsimha prayers. So Narsimha prayers are also very important. So of course, just because we are devotees, so sure protection is there, but still we should remember also, not that when the time comes and we think that I am great devotee, and when the death time comes, we forget the Lord. So that should not happen. So we have to be very careful. So I think one more verse we will take, and then we end our discussion. Mm. So till now we saw what are the questions asked by Vishnudutas. Now let us see Yamdutas how they answer. So text 40. यमदूता उचुः
Yamduta.
Yamduta uchuhu.
वेद प्रणिहितो धर्मो
Veda
वेद
pranihito dharmo.
प्रणीतो धर्मो
हि अधर्मस्त विपर्ययः
Hiya dharmastat viparyaha.
धर्मस्तद्विपर्ययः
वेदो नारायण साक्षात्
Vedo
वेदो
narayana
नारायणः
sakshat.
स्वयं
साक्षात्
भूरिति सुषुमा
Swayam
स्वयं
bhuriti
भूरिति
sushuma.
Yes. Who is remaining? Okay. Pranit Proof, can you read translation?
Yes, Prabhu. The Yamadevatas replied, that which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes the dharma, the religious principles, and the opposite of that is irreligion. The Vedas are directly the supreme personality of Godhead Narayana and are self-born. This we have heard from Yamaraj.
Yeah, that which is prescribed in the Vedas constitute dharma. So Yamdutas were not actually like very foolish or something. They also knew a lot of philosophy. So they told Vedas how it constitutes dharma, the religious principle, and opposite to that is irreligion. Yes, perfect. Yes, Jaideep Proof.
Yes, Prabhu. The perfect. The servants of Yamraja replied quite properly. They did not manufacture principles of religion or irreligion. Instead, they explained what they had heard from the authority Yamraj. Mahajano yena gata sa panchataha.
Hmm.
One should follow the Mahajan, the authorized person. Yamraja is one of 12 authorities. Therefore, the servants of Yamraja, the Yamdutas, replied with perfect clarity when they said, Shushruma, we have heard. The members of modern civilization manufacture defective religious principles through speculative con- con-
Concoction.
concoction. Okay, concoction. This is not dharma. They do not know what is dharma and what is adharma. Therefore, as stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, dharma projita kaitavotra, dharma not supported by the Vedas is rejected from Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma comprises only that which is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Dharma is Sarva Dharma. Prabhuji, can you scroll?
Okay. Yes.
हाँ. सर्वधर्म परित्याज अच्छा
Mark.
सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज. One must accept the authority of Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrender to Him and whatever He says. That is dharma. Arjuna, for example, thinking that violence was adharma, was declining to fight, but Krishna urged him to fight. Arjuna obeyed by the orders of Krishna, and therefore he is actually a dharmi. Because the order of Krishna is dharma. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedyasya sarver ahameva vedya. The real purpose of Veda, knowledge, is to know me. One who knows Krishna perfectly is liberated, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9.
Yeah. So here it is told about Bhagavad Dharma. So basically, Bhagavad Dharma and Yamadutas were telling as it is, what they heard from the authority. And then Prabhupada is telling that the members of modern civilization manufacture defective religious principles through speculative concoction. So nowadays, if you ask someone what is religious principle, they also say, I know religious principle. And as soon as they start speaking, you see that there is no reference from any of the scriptures. They speculate their own ways, concoction, telling this and that. Religion says this. And karma hi puja hai, just work, and that is only your work is worship and all. So that is not given in Bhagavad Gita. People say, oh, it is there in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, there are verses about karma yoga, but Krishna never says that, okay, you do work and that is only the thing, that's it. You don't do anything else. So that is not given. So one must accept the authority of Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrender unto Him. That is the most important. Yeah. Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yoveti tattvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mamiti suvarjana. Yes, Naman Pro. Translation.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. One who understands Krishna and abides by his order is a candidate for returning home, back to Godhead. It may be concluded that dharma, religion, refers to that which is ordered in the Vedas, and adharma, religion, refers to that which is not supported in the Vedas.
Yeah. So one who understands Krishna and abides by its order, that
Vaishnav,
yes, Prabhuji.
there is one Boston meeting in the same ID. Is it my ID only, this one?
Yeah, your idea only, Prabhuji. I am just our reading is also done, Prabhuji. I will end here.
Okay, it's supposed to end at 5:30, yeah? Is it?
5:45, Prabhuji.
5:45, okay.
Yes.
Now the Boston devotees are going to join in a few minutes, huh?
Okay, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you. Haribol.
Okay, so we end our discussion here. Tomorrow we'll meet.
Sure, Prabhu, sure, no worries.
No, you can take till 5:45. Another few minutes to finish.
Any question, anyone else? Okay, so
No, Prabhuji, I think we are okay. We understood everything.
Yes, we'll meet tomorrow, 5 p.m.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
so much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much.